Behind the gates of Mar-a-Lago, Barron Trump grew up surrounded by history, security, and silence. The long corridors, guarded lawns, and controlled calm weren't just scenery, they shaped how life moved. Power was always nearby, but never centered on him. Distance was learned through space, routine, and restraint, not lectures. Legacy lived in the walls, while Barron learned to move within it quietly. Daily life balanced privacy and awareness, protection and presence. Today, we step into that environment to understand both the estate and the heir growing up inside it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Zenith before we proceed. Born on March 20, 2006 in New York City, Barron entered a family already defined by business, politics, and constant visibility. From the start, his world was built on contrast. A father whose life played out in public, and a mother, Melania Trump, who valued discipline, privacy, and distance from noise. Much of his upbringing unfolded under her guidance. She described him as independent, strong-willed, and clear about what he wants, traits that helped him exist around attention without being consumed by it. At home, cultures blended naturally. Barron became fluent in both English and Slovenian, reflecting a childhood shaped as much by European restraint as American exposure. School was the first system that gave Barron Trump structure, not politics, not power, routine. He began at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School in New York, where his days stayed deliberately ordinary despite the name attached to him. During the 2016 election and the opening stretch of his father's presidency, that routine was protected at all costs. While Washington pulled attention south, Barron remained in Manhattan with his mother, finishing the school year away from the spectacle. The move to the White House didn't happen until June 2017, and that delay mattered. It signaled a pattern that would repeat throughout his life. Public power would never be allowed to interrupt private development. In Washington, he attended St. Andrew's Episcopal School, a setting chosen less for prestige than insulation. The goal wasn't visibility, it was continuity. Later, when the family relocated to Florida, Barron enrolled at Oxbridge Academy. Removed from both New York and Washington, his life settled into a quieter academic rhythm. No spectacle, no narrative. He graduated in May 2024, having passed through elite schools without becoming a public fixture inside them. As he matured, Barron began to occupy a narrow but noticeable edge of public life. He wasn't front-facing, but he wasn't absent either. He's been credited with advising his father on younger audiences, nudging appearances toward platforms like Bussin' with the Boys and Streams with Adin Ross. These moments weren't about spotlight. They reflected awareness, an understanding of how attention moves and how generations communicate. In September 2024, Barron took his first independent step by enrolling at New York University Stern School of Business. He didn't move into dorms. He commuted from Trump Tower, close to influence, but never immersed in it. At this stage, there's no declared career path. What exists instead is preparation, formation without performance. Behind all of that movement, cities, schools, phases, there was one constant environment absorbing the transitions quietly: Mar-a-Lago. Seen publicly, the estate is ceremony and power. Lived privately, it's something else entirely. For Barron, it wasn't a stage, it was infrastructure, a place built for permanence, not urgency. The property unfolds slowly along Palm Beach's Atlantic edge: manicured lawns, palm-lined paths, wide courtyards that soften scale before the house even appears. The Mediterranean revival structure holds symmetry without rigidity, anchored by its central tower and long terracotta roofs. The ocean stays present but restrained, visible through gaps in hedges and gardens, shaping time without demanding attention. Inside, the house moves at a different pace. Light transitions deliberately from exterior brightness into interior warmth. Gold accents, carved stone, patterned ceilings, all heavy with continuity rather than flash. Chandeliers hang low enough to feel grounding, not theatrical. Public rooms dominate the central flow. Long dining halls framed by arched windows and heavy drapery, designed to host power, yet sit quietly when empty. Nearby salons open into each other with restraint, seating arranged for conversation, not display. Sound softens. The house absorbs it. Beyond those spaces, the estate narrows into pockets of calm, lower ceiling lounges, shaded loggias, inward courtyards. These were the rooms that mattered most, removed from formality, defined by repetition, windows looking onto gardens instead of crowds, paths leading outward into quiet rather than attention. Upstairs, the tone shifts again. Bedrooms and private sitting rooms keep the architectural language but drop the volume. Here, scale becomes personal. The house stops announcing itself and starts sheltering. Outside, the rhythm resumes. Pool terraces opening toward filtered ocean light, courtyards framed by stone, and water creating pauses between movement. Even the beachfront feels buffered, held at a distance. For Barron, Mar-a-Lago wasn't legacy in the abstract. It was the place where space taught proportion and privacy taught discipline. That foundation followed him north to Manhattan, where space compressed and visibility returned. Trump Tower introduced a different kind of home: vertical, central, observed. Privacy here wasn't inherited, it was engineered. At street level, the atrium opens wide but controlled. Marble surfaces reflect light while muting city noise. Elevators lift residents out of public energy and into separation. Each ascent marks a transition. Inside the residence, the atmosphere steadies. Polished stone floors anchor the space. Gold accents and dark wood absorb light instead of throwing it back. The palette quiets the eye. Nothing rushes. Everything is intentional. Living here meant learning that privacy, like power, is something you build, not something you assume. The living room sits at the center of daily life, defined by control rather than comfort. It's spacious, but disciplined. Furniture placement limits sprawl, and sightlines are carefully directed. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame Manhattan and Central Park far below, keeping the city visible but distant. The effect is subtle but constant. Awareness without intrusion. The dining room follows the same logic. Long surfaces rest under softened lighting that warms rather than shines. Meals happen by habit, not occasion. Inside, time slows slightly, even as the city continues uninterrupted beyond the glass. Private spaces pull further inward. Bedrooms are insulated through layered materials that absorb sound and soften light. Windows are selective, allowing sky and brightness without exposure. These rooms are designed to protect rhythm, not express personality. Movement through the apartment is clear and efficient. Hallways guide rather than impress. Stairways rise quietly, reinforcing order instead of spectacle. In Trump Tower, passage itself is intentional. What defines the residence isn't extravagance, but control. Privacy engineered through height, structure, and separation. For Barron Trump, Trump Tower functioned less as refuge and more as conditioning. Visibility outside was constant, which made privacy inside something learned. Stillness became discipline. The space didn't shield him from the world. It sharpened his awareness of it. Structure produced calm. Boundaries preserved identity. When life transitioned into the White House, that discipline carried forward into a setting shaped by duty and uninterrupted attention. The White House is built to endure, not to feel lived in. Yet within its residential floors, daily life softens. Colors remain warm and restrained. Light filters through tall windows without demanding focus. Furnishings emphasize continuity over trend. Carpets absorb sound. Doors close gently. Family living areas form the center of this rhythm. Seating drawn closer, lamps replacing chandeliers, evenings unfolding without performance. The family dining room anchors these moments. Its scale is intimate, its presence grounding, allowing ordinary routines to exist inside an extraordinary address. Barron's private rooms retreat further from formality. His bedroom and adjoining spaces prioritize comfort and consistency. Light is controlled. Sound remains low. These interiors protect routine, schoolwork, rest, uninterrupted time within one of the most observed buildings in the world. Above, the solarium shifts the atmosphere entirely. Daylight moves freely across pale surfaces. Windows frame sky instead of spectators. It's a space that breathes, where time loosens. Outside, the south lawn restores proportion. Paths widen. Movement becomes physical rather than procedural. Inside the White House, contrast defines everything. Formality below, privacy above, teaching how space can create calm even when attention never fully disappears. The Nissan Sentra brings a different pace entirely. At around $22,000, it's modest, functional, and easy to miss. It moves comfortably through city streets and everyday routines, letting Barron step into ordinary spaces without buffers or distance. This is the car of short trips and simple timing, classes, errands, moving through the day without drawing notice. There's no statement in it, only usefulness. Together, his vehicles don't signal status. They track transition. One belongs to protection and inheritance, the other to independence still taking shape. Another influence developed just as quietly: philanthropy. Barron's exposure came through proximity, not leadership, shaped by the causes his parents supported. During his time at the White House, he accompanied them on select occasions tied to children-focused outreach, including hospital visits and seasonal programs. These events were part of broader initiatives, funded through official budgets and partner contributions, while Barron remained in the background, present, observant, age-appropriate. He also attended limited events connected to Be Best, which focused on children's well-being, online safety, and mental health. Though the initiative operated with significant public and partner funding, Barron held no role within it. His presence reflected family involvement rather than responsibility. Outside Washington, he joined his family at faith-based and community events in Palm Beach and Mar-a-Lago, including charity-linked services and holiday gatherings coordinated by churches and nonprofit groups. At times, he appeared briefly at charity dinners that raised substantial funds for supported causes. In every case, his role remained the same: nearby, not central. No foundations, no public donations, just exposure. Taken together, these moments frame philanthropy as an introduction rather than an obligation, something observed early, allowed to remain optional, and left open to develop naturally. That same balance carries forward as his life continues to form around privacy, routine, and the space to grow without pressure. In a family defined by exposure, Barron Trump has grown up outside the spotlight. His personal life moves quietly, shaped by distance rather than display. He's rarely positioned as a focal point, rarely asked to perform beyond simply existing in the room. That restraint defines his days. Life moves in contained patterns, built around privacy and predictability. School anchors everything: structured environments, clear expectations, limited attention. Outside academics, sports provide balance. Soccer, in particular, offers a space where identity fades and effort takes over. On the field, he's part of a system focused on movement, coordination, and repetition, not recognition. Family life remains intentionally unseen. Time with his parents stays private, unfolding through routine rather than presentation. Travel, meals, and downtime are handled quietly, preserving normalcy within an unusual context. There's no urgency placed on outcomes or identity. His life isn't being defined through statements or spectacle, but through consistency. Whatever path he chooses later, the foundation is being built slowly, controlled, grounded, and on his own terms. Barron Trump's story isn't about attention, it's about preparation, a life shaped by structure, privacy, and restraint rather than performance. While the world watches from a distance, his foundation is being built quietly, one routine at a time. If you found this perspective valuable, like the video, subscribe to Zenith, and comment "structure" below. More stories like this are coming, focused on what's unseen, not what's loud.